Kelly Rodriguez. I'm Sergeant First Class in the United States Army. Just hit 20 years and I'll be retiring next year at 21 years. I'm stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So I do have some injuries, but you know, that's just Army life. Some shoulder injuries, some other minor things. I do have PTSD. I just started treatment this year. It's been hard for me to start the road of treatment because my husband is also injured, and I always focused on him getting better, and he's doing very well. He's an alumni here as well, and at Team 43, and he encouraged me. Now it's kind of my turn. It's kind of my time to start taking care of myself, and I'm learning a lot about myself. So I have 5 deployments, 3 combat tours. I'm a medic, and that's kind of it all kind of takes a toll on you. My last deployment, I was on a airborne forward surgical team on the Pakistani border in Afghanistan, and that year we saw 385 surgical cases, and it was a 10-man surgical team. Normally it's 20. Some of those casualties really got to me over, after a while, and I always wish you could do more. You know, you did your best. But for me, there were a couple of them. Just I saw myself. I had my first American female casualty die, and kind of put me over the top. Don't wait to seek treatment for whatever it is, whether it's an injury, because I did the same thing with my shoulder. If I would have gotten help, probably would have been good to go. But I was like, I'll just push through it, and kind of did the same thing with all the emotional things that I was dealing with and seeing and experiencing. And I've got to say, my team was really good about debriefing after our surgical cases, and but it takes a toll. And again, that was just one of 5. And I just encourage people to get out, stay busy. I saw my husband. I saw him sit down for a few months, and it wasn't good. As soon as he started moving again, found a new mission, found a new activity, it's just he excelled. And I know that's one of the things that did keep me going until I did finally have the courage to seek treatment. Is I'm a soldier. I have to get up, and I have soldiers, so I have to lead. And it's been one of the hardest things for me as a leader still today, is to say, I have weaknesses, and I have injuries, and I have things that need to be addressed. So all I can tell people is you got to keep living your life. It doesn't, nothing, whether it's an invisible wound or a visible wound or a combination of both, you're still who you are. So you cannot let that define you. You cannot become the guy or the girl who sits home and, woe is me, I had a bad time downrange. Well, a lot of people have a bad time downrange, so what you do is you get up and keep going. Find out whatever it is that you're good at, or whatever it is you enjoy. Find a way to give back to your community. I'm really looking forward to retirement so I can actually give back to the female veteran community. I think there's a big need out there. But something, and a lot of people don't like it when I say it, but everybody's allowed to be a victim of circumstance for a day or two. But everybody's got a time limit too, and at some point you have to say, am I a survivor or am I a victim? So choose to survive. Find a way to survive. I think the stigma is different between the civilian world and military. In the civilian world, I think there's this thing that if you have PTSD, you're crazy in some regard, and it's that you're going to have flashbacks constantly, or there's varying degrees for everyone, and everyone's circumstance is different. For me, I'm realizing that I actually have tear ducts, and I didn't really know that I cried so much. That's one of the things when I get triggered. That's kind of what happened. A little anxiety, a little tears. I don't fly off the handle all the time. I do get angry, but at the end of the day, I can still work. I can still function. I can still make decisions. I can still handle a firearm. I can still take medicine, or whatever the case might be. There's these ideas that PTSD is like something that completely debilitates you, or takes away your decision-making process, or your trustworthiness, or there's so many different things out there, and really it's just not the case for everybody. I think the majority of us that do deal with it every day, we are dealing with it. And if you are seeking counseling, and if you need medication, that's fine. If you are active in your community, you can learn how to avoid triggers. And if you're smart and you're working in an environment, you'll tell people, hey, this triggers me. try not to do those things. And I do have to do that as a soldier. You know, I don't like people walking up behind me. And I don't even know where that comes from, but I just know it just freaks me out. And within the military, I've got to say that, you know, I've been in 20 years. We have gotten a lot better about it. And it comes from senior leaders, and there have been general officers, very senior sergeants major that have gotten out and talked to their soldiers about, hey, you know, I have PTSD and I'm still leading and I'm still, you know, on the mission. I can still deploy downrange. And you do have to get cleared to go downrange after you have PTSD, obviously. But we can still function, we can still be soldiers. So we've made a lot of headway, and I think most of the time, soldiers that still stigmatize us, it's because they don't understand, because they haven't experienced or dealt with things. And you know, maybe I don't think I was like that as a private, maybe it was. But it's our job to educate them. And it is a very hard thing to do. It is an honor, and it is overwhelming and humbling and all of these contradictory things at the same time, if I can be honest. It's President and Mrs. Bush opening their home to us, not just the ranch, their home. That is just, that shows you don't just invite people into your home because for show, you know, that you can truly tell this is a passion for them, it's in their heart. I'm learning a lot about myself on the trails. You know, I don't live in a rocky area, so I don't ride over rocks. We have sand in North Carolina on the hills. There have been some challenging places. I'm learning that I'm not just going to be good at everything, and that's important. So I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm learning a lot about the community, and this is just such a great group of people. I've never been around such an incredible group of people. Everyone here is amazing. The volunteers, President and Mrs. Bush, the other warriors, the family members. It is just, I just can't believe it. It really is, it's just honorable to be here.